What's up? Okay. So, I just got done watching the NBA All-Star game. That shit was sick. That was a good-ass game. And I like how the pettiness between Russ and Embiid made it into the game. That was tight. Anyway, I'm here to do my review, not rant this time, review of episode 128. Let me take this bite of this fish first. It's hot. That's so good. Like spicy hot, not temperature hot. Yeah, but I'm probably not going to do a rant this time because I think this was a satisfactory, acceptable episode. I don't know if good is the right word. Certainly good by super standards. But you know, I like the episode in some respects, so I'm not gonna bash the episode. I am gonna point out some things I didn't like though, but overall, I thought the episode was fairly satisfactory. And obviously, we'll talk about the reveal of Ultra Instinct Goku at the end of this video and some other stuff. But yeah, let's start the actual review. Actually, okay, so every time I do a review, like I always like bullet note my stuff so I can talk about what I want to talk about. Wait, so let me bring that up. Okay, so it starts off. So basically, the first half is Vegeta versus Jiren, right? And it started off like the way that it started off was just like terrible to me, right? Vegeta calling himself Vegeta-sama again for like the upteenth time, and as we just to you know, these are things that I've already brought up in other video reviews, but on the off chance that, you know, someone new, like this is the first time you're watching this, I have to keep bringing the point up, right? So Vegeta calling himself Vegeta-sama after the Blue Arc obviously makes no sense, right? Vegeta being a stubborn idiot by saying his base form is enough for Jiren when he can't transform into Super Saiyan. Yeah, that was not the best thing either, right? And so Vegeta fights Jiren, he gets his ass kicked. Vegeta's punches against Jiren are animated terribly, right? Vegeta's swollen eye. I don't like Vegeta with the swollen eye. That just looked. It didn't even look cool. It just looked bad, you know. Like Goku as a kid with the swollen eye against I think it was King Piccolo. Even that didn't look cool, but it made you like. It made Goku look nice, you know, when he actually won. The swollen eye thing with Vegeta, I think, just looks fucking goofy and not badass at all. They should have just done it like Majin Vegeta, where like there's like, I mean, they can't animate blood because Sunday morning cartoon, but they should have done something else with the eye where it's just like, you know what I mean? If they had the chance to animate blood, I feel like they would have made it like Majin Vegeta, like when he was fighting Goku and Majin Buu with the blood running down it. I thought that would have been sick, but yeah. So those were things I didn't like. Vegeta remembering like his family and all that was nice. Remembering Bra especially. The thing that I realized is that, you know, Vegeta's relationship with Bulma and Trunks has already been like so like highlighted that I'd like for him to, like the Vegeta and Bra stuff, I'd like to see more of that, you know? And it's kind of the reason why I like the Goku and Goten stuff in the Buu arc. Because, well, more so the Goku Goten stuff, right? Because that was a little more emphasized. Goku and Gohan stuff we got like in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber during the Cell arc, but it's always nice to see the Vegeta and Bra stuff in particular. I thought that was great. So that whole him remembering stuff was great, but the Kaba relationship just completely ruined it for me. Because like I said, the relationship between Vegeta and Kaba is basically trash, right? It's not very well developed. It's not really meaningful. It's not really emotional. Because the basis of it is Vegeta teaching Kaba about never forgetting his pride as a Saiyan, which obviously Super itself doesn't really even understand, right? Because just for this video's sake, Vegeta's Saiyan pride before the Buu arc really stemmed from himself being it's not because Vegeta was a Saiyan. His pride as a Saiyan came because biologically, like, he's a Saiyan, and Saiyan pride in itself just seems to be a trait that Saiyans inherently just have, right? Even Goku. and Gohan, even Gohan, like when he fights Dabura, right? When he fights Dabura, when he's like, oh no, I want to fight on my own, right? So, but it's not, Saiyan pride, it's not so much being proud that you are a Saiyan, you know? It's not so much that Vegeta, the Vegeta and Saiyan pride, it's not so much that Vegeta is like proud of being a Saiyan. There are instances where he is like happy that he is a Saiyan. When he, for instance, when he crushes the Potara with Goku before they fight Buu, right? Like that's an instance where like, you know, his spoken like a true Saiyan, you know, like that's an example of what I'm talking about. But when it comes to being like proud that he's a Saiyan before that, when he killed Nappa, when he didn't elect for Raditz to be revived, all this stuff, hating on Kakarot, all this stuff, right? Not even caring about Trunks until he was killed by Cell. All that stuff was indicative of Vegeta caring about only himself. He could have been a Saiyan, a Namekian, a regular human, it didn't matter. So, obviously the issue of Saiyan pride between Vegeta and Kaba doesn't really make sense. It could make a little more sense considering that Saiyans are good guys in Universe 6, and Vegeta is now not like how he was during the Saiyan and Namek arcs, even, yeah, at least during those two arcs. He's definitely like how he is during the Androids arc, that's for damn sure. Cue the Final Flash against Jiren episode, right? But, yeah, anyway, the point is that the Kaba relationship in itself is very terrible, so him thinking about that and holding onto that promise of all things really is not the best thing. It's not the best thing. I probably would have preferred it if it was... It definitely would have been better if it was just the family. If it was just Bulma, Trunks, and Bra. And maybe even Goku. Throw Goku in there, right? Make it like the whole Majin Vegeta like death scene where he remembers them and thanks them and whatever, right? Says goodbye to them, whatever. Do something like that. And not necessarily like Vegeta saying goodbye and like just getting wrung out, not even being killed. You know what I mean? Just like remembering them. And like that being... those four being used as motivation for him. So yeah, remembering the family was great, but not the Kaba. When it goes to the Kaba stuff, that was terrible. Vegeta saying as long as Universe 7 wins, that was a really good line of dialogue because the line of dialogue in itself wasn't like super like incredibly like well thought out and written, but just the fact that that's the first time in a long time, if any at all, besides maybe Vegeta like saving Roshi, saving Roshi and helping Roshi out against Frost. Maybe this is like the second time, not only in this arc, maybe in the entire franchise that they've got, or maybe in the entire show, sorry, that they've gotten Vegeta's character. Actually, no, not even the second time, because Vegeta's character I thought was done pretty well in the Battle of Gods arc for Super. It was really the Universe 6 arc, the Future Trunks arc, and the Zamasu arc where his character was just, for the most part, pretty crap. Aside from him, like, saving Trunks and Zamasu. So, yeah, it's obviously more than two, right? But this is one of the few... This is what Vegeta's character should have been, right? Saying as long as Universe 7's wins was great. And it's not even, like... You can have Vegeta be, like, not proud in the sense that he wants to win on his own and be the best. You can have that. But not at the expense of being, like, this loner and being, like, abrasive to everyone else, right? And that's what I'm saying. The entire point of the Majin Buu arc with Vegeta's character when he is revived is him opening up more to the main cast. And this saying, Vegeta's saying is, even if he loses, as long as Universe 7 wins, like, that's the right thing. That is indicative of that character development since the Majin Buu arc. Not all, like, this pride talk with Kaba and all, like, no. But so that was great. That was great. Vegeta saying as long as Universe 7 wins, that was good. Because that's the way Vegeta's character should have been since the beginning of Super. And yeah, I already said Vegeta remembering Bulma and hearing Hiromi Suru's lines. You know, that was good too. It was just some, like, you know, obviously since she died and now they're trying to, like, honor her in the best way that they could. Anyway, the point is, like, the best parts of this was him, like, it was kind of like the fight against Kid Buu, like, getting up and just keep pushing forward and remembering his fam and all that. Now, obviously, I did say, like, some of that stuff on the early on, like Vegeta's punches being animated against Jiren at first. That was animated terribly. The swollen eye, I just think that looks terrible on Vegeta. All that sort of stuff, right? But at least the way that the swollen eye looks in the show, right? I didn't like the way they really like colored or animated it, like whatever drew it, whatever word you want to use for it. And yeah, yeah. Anyway, point. So I like that stuff, right? But then we go into some more like bad stuff, right? Because Vegeta then starts to call Jiren an emotionless bastard when he had just heard his backstory in the previous episode from Belmod, from Vermod, or Belmod, Vermod, however you say it. And the funny thing is, 17 in the last episode goes out of his way, right, to mention how even Jiren is human. How I thought you were just an emotionless killer, but even you are somewhat human, right? And so Vegeta just calls him like this emotionless bastard in the next episode. So there's like writing discontinuity over there. Vegeta crying when he's wrung out, that was really forced. It seems kind of forced. I mean, I can understand crying when he lost. I can understand. Okay, so if Vegeta cries when if he's the last person to be wrung out from Universe 7, right? And he's crying because he couldn't protect Bulma and his kids, right? I can understand if he cried because of that, right? So a la Goku and Frieza were eliminated as well. But the Vegeta crying over here seems really kind of forced, because he didn't even cry when Trunks was killed, or after Gohan killed Cell, when he admitted that Goku and Gohan had bested him, or when Goku ran out of energy as a Super Saiyan 3 against Buu. I'm bringing up all these situations because these are situations that indicate that all hope is lost, right? There's nothing they can do against the villain from destroying them or killing them and destroying the rest of the planet or the universe, whatever it is, right? Like, truly hopeless situations. I mean, and yes, he didn't know Goku was going to unlock Ultra Instinct at the end of the episode, but for the point of emphasis, like what they do is like when he's crying is that I couldn't protect you, Bulma, but then they bring up Kaba's promise, and for Vegeta to shed tears because he couldn't uphold his promise to Kaba does not seem very in character at all. Does not seem genuine or believable, because like I said, the relationship with Kaba is already like bad, but one of the reasons that it is bad is because it's not written very well. It's not developed very well, you know, and just on the basis of Saiyan pride, you know, to me that makes no sense. Even Raditz had Saiyan pride, and you know, and granted, you know, Vegeta was a different character back then, obviously, but just the fact that Vegeta a reason. Not the only reason, but a reason why Vegeta decided to shed tears was because he couldn't uphold his promise to Kaba does not seem very believable. And it could be believable. It could have been more believable had Toei been better at developing their relationship or making their relationship just more than Vegeta teaching Kaba about Saiyan pride. But that didn't happen. So Vegeta crying, I mean, it was good for the family stuff, but bad for the Kaba stuff. So basically, Kaba's promise is just terrible. That thing is just like, oh, I'm so motivated to go see Planet Sadala in Universe 6, and really, that shouldn't be something that he even cares too strongly about. I mean, I can understand him caring about it a little bit, but not too strongly. Anyway, point is, like, him crying in part because of that is bad. And then, you know, people were talking about this. Actually, before I get to this point, before I get to my next point, people were saying, like, oh, like, Vegeta, like, thinking about his family, and, like, oh, my Nakama, my family, and all this. And, yeah, I mean, I understand, like, it's generic, it's been brought up a whole lot, but I don't necessarily think it was bad, because at least the way they did it in this episode, minus the Kaba stuff, I thought was actually pretty good. It was serviceable. I thought I didn't think they necessarily fucked anything up. I thought it was good the way in which they did it. Like, especially the flashback with Vegeta holding Bra, I thought that was pretty good. So even though, like, yeah, I mean, a character gaining more willpower from remembering his friends and family, like, even though that's something that's a tried and tested trope of shonen, I get that, but really it's the point of Vegeta's character after Dragon Ball Z, or at least after Buu, I should say, right? After Buu, like, that's the main way in which Vegeta's character develops. It's just through his love for his family, and no homo for Goku, right? It's those things that change Vegeta as a character. So I don't really. I mean, yeah, he might have thought about it like before and all this stuff, but in like previous episodes in the arc. But I think here it was the most impactful because he got eliminated and because he was getting his ass beat but still standing up. So I know some people were complaining about it. I personally didn't have a problem with that. Now we'll get to the problem which I was going to mention earlier. Goku. So Vegeta gets eliminated and he gives like a little key to Goku, right? And Goku is then able to go Super Saiyan Blue from this key thing, right? Now, it's a problem, but I'm not going to call it a big problem because, well, let's explain why it's a problem first, right? It's a problem because Vegeta himself couldn't even go regular Super Saiyan. He was like totally exhausted in his base form. And Goku had reverted to his base form too. Then he gets Vegeta's key and then he goes Super Saiyan Blue, right? So it's a problem because that obviously that is nonsensical and inconsistent writing. It's bad writing, right? But it's not as big a problem because Goku then, after he gets punched or kicked by Jiren or something like that, he does revert relatively quickly back to base form. So he gets Super Saiyan Blue for a couple seconds, then reverts to base form. So in that respect, because at least Toei had the brains not to like drag it out too much, I'm gonna give them a pass for that. Well, not a pass, but I won't emphasize that. I don't necessarily think it's like that strong a problem. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, Goku going Super Saiyan Blue from that made no sense, but he does revert relatively quickly. So it's a nice little balance. Then Goku gets his ass kicked by Jiren for a little bit, and then Jiren's about to finish him off, and then he goes Ultra Instinct. So the slow scene before Goku goes Ultra Instinct was good, but not perfect. So I like the music. I like how like they show everyone's faces and all of this, and how Goku's about to lose and all this stuff. And so that was good. But the reason it's not perfect is because Goku remembers Frieza of all people. And seeing, and just as a watcher, right? Just as a watcher, regardless of what you think of Super, seeing Goku remember Frieza say Son Goku-san, like his name, and using that as motivation to like save them, like because ultimately like the end goal is to save Universe 7, right? For Goku to go Ultra Instinct because of that is just terrible. Like that's that just off-puts everything. The entire like tone of that scene is gone. As soon as I saw it would have been perfect if it was Vegeta just yelling Kakaroto and then remembering like everyone's faces and all this, and then you know what I mean? That would have been great. But then you just see Frieza, it's just like, what the fuck? This motherfucker is still trying to kill you, right? So, but anyway, despite that, the scene in of itself of him like transforming and stuff, I thought was good. And yeah, basically next episode is Goku Ultra Instinct versus Jiren, two of the last three people if you include Frieza in the arena. And yeah, that's basically it. I do want to talk about some more things though. People were like really like happy when Jiren got punched. See, for me, I'm not a Jiren hater, right? Like people, I've talked about this before, but like people say that Jiren is like this emotionless cardboard like cutout thing, cutout character, right? So, and I get that, you know, he hasn't really emoted a whole lot, except like the last 2 or 3 episodes where he started to be like kind of like a dick, right? He started to say like, "You're pathetic to Toppo and friends don't mean anything," you know, like just gone like full like loner, typical anti-hero shonen status, right? Which to me is just like a weird way to characterize him like this late in the game, because he was basically just like fucking Kenshiro and Jotaro before that. And you know, I said that before, like I don't hate characters like that, because to me, stoicism in a character is something that I like. You know, forget Kenshiro and Jotaro, even Hit in Super is something, you know, that's a trait of his that I like. Jiren, that's something that I like about Jiren. You know, I like the stoic, silent characters, because stoicism and silence in itself is a character trait, and I just think that makes them cooler, right? So that's how I feel about it. But the fact that people were so like hyped, like, yeah, Jiren got like punched in the fucking gut, that's just weird to me. It's People are celebrating that, and I think it's because like they don't like the character, which I mean I get, which is fine. I mean, I can understand celebrating like your characters that you don't like getting shit on. You know, I don't fucking like Sasuke or Zamasu or I don't know Sonic, Speed of Sonic from One Punch Man. I don't like those characters. Itagaki from Ippo. So I love it when they get shit on, right? But Jiren, I guess for me, just because like I don't necessarily like hate Jiren like that, it just felt so weird for me to go like on Twitter to just see like people like, yeah, Jiren got his ass, like he got punched by Goku, and the punch by Goku in itself was really cool. Well, not really cool, but it was, you know, it was tight. At least the expression was tight, right? At least the expression of the punch in itself wasn't cool because Goku just goes like, pfft. It was like very casual. But like just the scene, just the fact that like Goku just did like a silent like punch to Jiren and just like made him like scream in pain or whatever, just like in pain. I think that in itself was cool, but I feel like most people were being like motivated by hatred for Jiren. The other thing that I want to talk about is like Vegeta fans. So lately, as of a lot, I've been seeing a lot of like people have come to realize that Vegeta takes a lot of L's in the entire Dragon Ball series. If you're like me and you've been watching my videos since 2013, you realize this, right? You realize that Vegeta, he's not like Hiei or Sasuke or Zoro, where he gets like a lot of signature win, or he hasn't really had a competitive fight aside from his fight. I wouldn't even call the Super Saiyan 2 Goku fight in Z necessarily competitive because Goku was holding back, right? And as for someone who likes Vegeta himself, right, who's the second favorite character, I want that for Vegeta. I want him to have like a Piccolo versus 17 fight, a Goku versus Frieza fight. You know, I want him to have some fight where like he and the other character are like beating the shit out of each other. They're pushing each other to their limits, and then he wins at the end, right? I want that kind of fight for him because I like Vegeta, and I think he deserves it. Since the Buu arc, it doesn't even have to be against the main villain, right? It can just be against like any which character. I just want him to get a win like that, right? And we haven't had that. We haven't had that. He beats the Magetta stuff doesn't really count, right? He beats on Frieza, loses against Beerus. What else? Basically owns Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black, right? Which I thought was pretty okay, right? Which it wasn't the greatest thing in the world to me, but it was all right for him to like get a win or to win in a fight like that, I guess. Even if it wasn't like Piccolo versus 17 or Goku versus Frieza, or, you know, it's like some super competitive fight like that. But he hasn't really even had that in this tournament. Or actually, no, he did. He had it with Toppo. But evidently, you guys already know how I feel about the Toppo fight because things didn't make sense. Whether it was the suicide attack and how his body being stronger somehow excuses him not dying, or like the Hakai destruction, and you know what I mean, things like that, right? So I wouldn't even count that, but I want like a well-written fight where he goes and like defeats an opponent after he's been pushed to the limit, like fucking like Luffy versus Lucci in One Piece, or Yusuke versus Sensui, or Yusuke versus Jin even, and you know, I want to fight like that for him, and now we can't. At least in Super, we can't get it. We in the anime we can't get it. Maybe we'll get it in the manga, but that's not the point I want to bring up. So anyway, the point is like over the last like maybe 2, maybe even 1 year, I think people have started to realize like, yeah, Vegeta takes a lot of L's, right? Like people will call him El Vegeta. And so when Vegeta lost in this episode, I was on my Twitter and I saw people like memeing the shit out of Vegeta losing, saying like there was Vegeta like being like contemplating and then looking at like at Toriyama's face at like him laughing because Vegeta never like wins. Well, I mean he has wins in the series, but it's more about like you know what I mean. They're based on the amounts of losses Vegeta has had. They're like, you know what I mean. They're memeing the shit out of it, and they're saying. And then they're like quoting like all like these Vegeta fans that I used to see, where they were like, "Oh, Vegeta's better than everyone in the he deserves a main win," and that just felt unnatural to me. that just felt so weird to me, because I think Super obviously has, I think, increased the Dragon Ball fan base, or the number of fans for Dragon Ball. And so, and I obviously it's not even about the quality of Super, but I personally, I don't really like it when franchises have like incredibly big fan bases, because I feel like that sort of like normalizes and commercializes the series, like Yu-Gi-Oh, or like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or anything like that with a big franchise. It kind of makes it normal. I feel like the special charm about the series, right, was lost when Super happened, and especially now, because we're all watching Dragon Ball now in Japanese. See, back in 2011, 2012, Japanese Dragon Ball was pretty niche, right? Kanzenshu and all these game pass, like whatever board you were a part of, who understood like actual Japanese, true to Toriyama's character, Goku, Vegeta, well, like whatever it was, like that Dragon Ball was really niche. And now all those people understand it, and because they understand it, now we get a lot more like trash opinions, a lot more terrible takes on the, you know what I mean? And I feel like an increasing fan base does that. When your series has a lot of fans, you're bound to see more cancer, and that's not even me like hating. That's just the way it is. Like anything, like even One Piece, right? Even One Piece, even Naruto, even Hunter x Hunter, like whatever it is, right? Like Hunter x Hunter, especially since the Hunter x Hunter anime, and like how people like try to like understand like how they like exaggerate like how important like Meruem was, or even things like that. Back when it was just when the Chimera Ant arc finished in just the manga, there was only like a small group of people that you could talk with, and they never like hyped shit up, exaggerated shit. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and the memes now that we see with the anime, it was shit like that, right? It was shit like that I hated, and I feel like we got that now especially with Dragon Ball Super, and Japanese Dragon Ball. But what this has to do with what I was saying about Vegeta and losing is now they were talking about like all the fans that say like all the people that say like, oh, Vegeta never gets one. They were basically like mocking them and making like these tweets and memes about them. And I haven't seen that for a long time. I haven't seen. I saw one person like that today, because I decided to go through like the replies or like the retweets of people, like what they were mentioning, or people that I follow, and that person that I saw, I forget his name. Well, it doesn't even matter if I said his name on the video, because no one's gonna take the time to even go and like check him out. But that was the first time in like maybe like 2 or 3 years where I had seen anyone like complain about like Vegeta losing, right? And yeah, I used to see that back in 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011 when I was on YouTube, and then when I was on when I was on Kanzenshu. Not that it was by Kanzenshu posters, it was by like things that Kanzenshu posters were linking, right? And so it's just weird. It was just really weird for me to see something that I hadn't really seen in a long time being like memed. Like it's like 2018, and it's just like I haven't seen this in so long. I haven't seen like anyone like hype up, like say like, oh, Vegeta doesn't get the main kill, like why can't he win for one, shit like that. And to see that now, it's just so, or to see like this meme for a problem that I think is just pretty much like, at least in my opinion, something that I haven't seen for like a very long time, that's just really strange to me. And another example is like Broly being like Fighters DLC, like, oh, Broly's the best, I love Broly, and then people were like, no, get Kalen. Honestly, Kale fucking sucks in the anime, at least, right? Movie 8 Broly is way better than Kale, right? But even the whole Broly fans that go like, oh, he's stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku and stuff, I haven't seen that for like the last 5 years. And then I was seeing memes about like, yeah, get Broly, don't put Broly in. And it's just like, I haven't seen those people for 5 years. I haven't seen anyone say like Broly is stronger than Boo in 5 years. That he's stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku in 5 years. That he's the strongest character in the series in 5 years. Since 2013, since I basically came on YouTube, right? Or since I started to make videos on YouTube. And yeah, I used to see those comments back in the day, like 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011. But the thing is, like, all, like, everything that people are referencing now, I feel like are really, like, 10-year-old memes that have been gone for, like, the last, like, 5 years. Maybe it's because I don't go into, like, dub videos, or I don't really, like, watch dub videos anymore, or Funimation videos, or, English videos about Dragon Ball too much. I really only watch, like, Japanese stuff, and so I don't really see, like, YouTube comments or, like, forum posts about that kind of shit, but it's just, like, strange to me. So that just felt unnatural to me to see, like, people bringing it back, like, to the whole point and stuff. It's natural for me to see, like, people, like, make fun of Vegeta losing. And because I don't even think, like, at least for this episode, he didn't deserve it. Obviously, Super has characterized him in the anime, like, terribly, right? They've completely missed the point of Vegeta's character after the Buu arc, being more friendly with people, understanding what he means when he says Saiyan Pride, you know, all those things, right? Reverting back to Android's arc, where he's like, fuck Kakarot, and I'm #1, and I'm Vegeta-sama. Like, Vegeta after the Buu arc, realistically, would never call himself Vegeta-sama. He would never do that, right? And, so you have all those things, right? So if you look at Vegeta as a whole during Super, I guess I can understand it through that, but the fact that these people were not referencing that they were trying to mock the people who were saying, like, oh, Vegeta deserves the main win, or, you know, people like that, that's just, like, really unnatural to me, and I just thought it was, like, stupid for them to do that, because, at least for me, I haven't seen that in, like, such a long time. So that's my whole thing about it. So yeah, ultimately, I thought the episode was serviceable. It was solid enough. I don't know if it was necessarily good. It was good by Super standards. I can say that much. And so I want to, the other thing, so that's basically the episode review. But I do want to talk about a couple more things. So I want to talk about Ultra Instinct Goku. So if you guys don't know, on Twitter, Yonko Productions or like V-Jump revealed the design for Ultra Instinct Goku. And if you guys know anything about transformations in Super, then you can guess what it was. It was just a color change, right? And obviously with Ultra Instinct Goku, it was white. So Goku has white hair, and he has white eyebrows, and he has white eyes. Well, not white. I guess the more appropriate color is silver. It's silver. Or white, silver, whatever it is. And so there was a Toriyama design, and there was a Yamamura design. And so what are my feelings on it? It's okay. It's okay. Obviously, I hate the fact that it's a fucking lazy ass. It's not even the fact that, well, it is lazy, right? It is lazy. And I've talked about this with Super Saiyan before, like back in the original, back in Dragon Ball Z, right? It's not so much that it's lazy, right? Like, because the reason why Goku's hair was not colored in when he went Super Saiyan in the manga was because it was too much work to, like, ink the hair in. And so if all Toriyama had to do was, like, draw the outline of Goku's hair, not only did he save time, but it also indicated, like, a change in Goku, right? So those two things, the combination of that thing, even though it was, like, lazy, even though there was a lazy philosophy behind it, that gave it charm, right? And obviously, with everything that I've been saying about Super Saiyan Blue, or, like, whatever it was, that charm is now lost because it's just another fucking color change, right? And if you're just going to abuse the same thing, then that loses, like, what made it special, and that makes it loses its charm, right? If you just abuse the same thing over and over again. So in that respect, I don't like Ultra Instinct. But as for the actual color itself, I think the white hair works. I'm 50-50 on it. Because on one hand, Goku's hair is black, right? And so, oh, and the hairstyle, I forgot to mention, when Goku goes Ultra Instinct, is like, it's his base hair, right? It's his base hair. So it's not a Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3 hairstyle. It's his base hairstyle, right? The one that he's had since he was a kid. It's that one. And so I think the color works 50-50 because Goku's hair is black, right? And the combination of Goku's black hair and his eyes or whatever with the rest of the gi that he wears, I think worked well. So for it to be the opposite color, I think naturally would just cause us to look at it like, yeah, that doesn't work. So in that respect, I don't think it works. However, if you guys remember what I said there was a Toriyama design and a Yamamura design. I actually think that the silver hair might work well when Goku is shirtless. right? I think it might work well when Goku is shirtless. I don't think it's the best looking thing in the world. I still think Super Saiyan God looks better than it. And it's the color combination. I consider myself an artist in some respect. I think I have a good palette when it comes to color and color choice and the combination of colors. And I'm not so sure the silver works with it. But in essence, the reason I did like Super Saiyan White, at least, like all those fanfic images of like Goku or Goku Black going Super Saiyan White, was because of how well it clashed with their clothes. And with Goku, he wore the orange and blue gi, right? And the Super Saiyan White fanfic Google images that I would see of him, I thought actually looked pretty good because, I don't know, the color they chose was just perfect. The silver or the gray or the white, like whatever it was. But I realize like now I think it looks better. It's because of the hairstyle. Every time I saw Super Saiyan White on Google Images, like the fanfiction stuff, it was always Goku with his Super Saiyan hairstyle and then that being white, rather than his base form just being white. And I think that's the difference. I think this would have worked better had Goku's hair been turned into like his Super Saiyan hairstyle, and then he had the silver stuff. And I also think it would have been better. And obviously, like Ultra Instinct in itself is not a Super Saiyan transformation, right? So I guess like lore-wise, it wouldn't make sense for him to like automatically have the Super Saiyan hair. But I feel like there could have been something like combine Ultra Instinct or learn to use Ultra Instinct in Super Saiyan mode. I think that would have been an acceptable or because ultimately at the end of the day, Ultra Instinct is the ability to think without thought, right? So it doesn't make sense to me that you should. Obviously it makes no sense that it's a fucking transformation, right? Because as we see, like with his training with Kami and all that, that's not really a transformation requirement. That's not really a transformative ability. One shouldn't be able to transform because they move, or at least in Dragon Ball, one shouldn't be able to move because they think without thought or whatever the fuck that shit is, right? But if he were to do that as as a tactic or as an ability of sorts, and then combine it with Super Saiyan, and then he got silver hair, sure, why not? Whatever the fuck. I already have to accept the fact that it's a transformation, right? So fuck it. Like, why not do it and make it like with the Super Saiyan 1 at least, or Super Saiyan 2, or Super Saiyan 3, right? What was I gonna say? I forgot. Oh yeah. And so that's one thing. The other thing was that I think they should have Toriyama should have gone with different eye colors. And I realize now the reason why Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan Rose I think looked good. Well, Rose on Black looked good, and it was because the hair colors were the same, right? The eyebrow and then the hair color, the actual hair color were the same. It was gold and pink, but then the eye color was different. It was green. I think it's blue in the manga, green or blue or something. At least green in the anime, and then it was gray in the anime. And so the contrast between the hair, the eyebrows, and the eyes, I think made for like a good like color combo, good color choice. Whereas even though I like Super Saiyan God's look, I think it probably could have looked better had the eye color been different. And that's probably one of the reasons why I don't like Super Saiyan Blue also. First of all, I don't like Super Saiyan Blue, especially in the anime, because I think the turquoise teal color that they choose for it looks trash, right? That color combo does not work well with Goku's clothes or Vegeta's clothes, right? In fact, the royal the shade of blue that they chose for Super Saiyan Bluer Vegeta, I thought that should have been like the at least a lighter version of that, like with Toriyama, should have been like the chief color that they chose for the form, right? But I realize now, like, another reason I don't like it is because it's all like the same fucking color. This is blue, this is blue, this is blue. And I don't think that works. I don't think that makes much sense to do that. In fact, I think it should have been like green, Super Saiyan. So it should have been like green and red. So what do red and green make? They make a brown or something, right? Goku with brown, it might have worked. Brown and blue that's actually a kind of good color combination. And obviously it depends on the shade and the hue of the brown. But anyway, the point is, bringing it all back to Ultra Instinct, I think Ultra Instinct could have looked better had the eye color been different. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm not so. I mean, I guess it looks okay, but the color of choice I think is just 50-50. Not my most favorite thing in the world, and I think Super Saiyan God is probably still the best transformation to come out of Super for sure. No, and yeah, yeah. What else do I want to talk about? Those are my thoughts on Ultra Instinct. Oh yeah, and the other funny thing was like the pose Ultra Instinct Goku was doing was the same exact pose. It was pretty much the same exact illustration that Toriyama did for Super Saiyan God 5 years ago when Battle of Gods came out. So that's funny. Yeah, yeah. But the NEP, right, with Goku like his undershirt burning up and him going like shirtless with the Ultra Instinct. I thought that scene looked good. Like the purple blue aura that Goku gets, I think it looks pretty sick with the bright white. So I don't know. I still don't. I'm still not sure it looks like that good, but we'll see. We'll see. I actually think the silver hair would probably look better on Vegeta because he actually has like white gloves and white boots. I'm not so sure it would work well with the androids. Actually, no, I think it could work well with the androids arc outfit. I think Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan and Ultra Instinct look better on Vegeta than they do Goku because the shade of blue. I'm talking about like their regular gi. I think it just looks more like suited. Like the shade of blue that they choose just looks more like complementary with Vegeta's color scheme than it does Goku's. Which is why I don't like Vegeta with the red hair necessarily. But I mean, again, the revival of F stuff is like different, and that's another thing, right? When Toriyama's illustration, he drew Ultra Instinct Goku with his Battle of God / Namek arc gi. He didn't draw him in the revival of F gi, so that means that either Toriyama thought that, or it may indicate that they lose the revival of F gi at some point, which to me is kind of strange because they are still training with Whis, so like, why? So yeah. That's basically it. Yeah. The raws for the new chapter came out. I'm gonna leave that for like the actual chapter review. But let's say I think there's some things that I liked that I saw that I liked, and yeah. Anyway, 42 minutes. Thank you guys for watching, and I guess I need to do a stream sometime soon, right? So I'll see when I can do that. Fucking hair. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, off to play some Dragon Ball FighterZ story mode. I'll see you guys when I see you. Take care.